Okay, yeah.
Ada.
Yeah, great. I'm sorry. Okay, so Cassius, may I ask you for chairing this session, okay?
Perfect. Be most welcome, dear colleague, PJ. Congratulations for all organizers. That's a great pleasure to be here this moment, right after the day that we celebrate the International Day of Human Rights, Universal Declaration, and the meaning of institutional architecture and design in order to enforce and strengthen our mutual commitment regarding human rights. So it is with great pleasure that we open this session, and I'd like to run the floor to the first speaker. So following our program, it is with a great honor that would like to invite, I'm not seeing here, sorry. A second, because I had a problem with my, okay. Ali Asghari, University of Kent, Identity Reconstruction in British Foreign and Security.
No, Cassius, I'm sorry, no.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This
yes,
is C3.
Yeah, sorry, my mistake.
No problem.
Adam Mickiewicz University, Poznan, Challenge for Freedom of Expression and Pluralism of Opinion in the European Union, arising from development and artificial intelligence. So my dear friend, Jedrzej, who's chair of RC26 of IPSA, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. It's a great pleasure for me to share with you some outcomes of from my research, and especially I can tell you that today will be the big premiere, because after 2 or 3 years of our research, I mean about our big team on my faculty of Political Science and Journalism at Mickiewicz University, but also in the Faculty of Mathematics and IT Technology on my university. We almost finished the project of artificial intelligence and fake news detector. And today will be the great premiere, because I hope that I will show you the outcomes of our research. I will try to show you the artificial intelligence and in the battle with fake news and disinformation. But let's start from sentence of American computer scientist and techno optimist Ray Kurzweil, who said such a sentence. He wrote a book in 2005. The singularity is new, and now he published the new books after this almost 20 years. And he said, we do have to be aware of the potential here and monitor what artificial intelligence is doing, but just being against it is not sensible. I would like to add to this sentence that just being against is not possible now even. Why? Because artificial intelligence is here. But please remember that technology, and this is my main thesis of my presentation, that technology is always neutral, but people are not neutral. So it means that if we discuss about should we regulate artificial intelligence, we should think about how to limit people in using of artificial intelligence. Of course, we can find other attempts because let's say that okay, 2 years ago, as I remember, OpenAI announced that the intelligence of ChatGPT is on the level maybe 5 years old kids. A few months ago, they announced, okay, this is a level of 13 teenager, yeah, and last few weeks they announced, okay, now this is a level of people who graduated university. We will see what's happening in the future. Maybe in the next 2 or 5 years, so artificial intelligence will create songs, poems. So maybe artificial intelligence will have feelings. So, and maybe it will be the question, who or what should we should protect, people or artificial intelligence? But this is, of course, the song of the future, yeah? Because now this is, yeah, once again, technology is neutral. And we always, when we think about the threat, we should think about people, yeah? Yeah. Of course, we can observe artificial intelligence in many parts of society, in media market, about also medical equipment, and yeah, question about when we think about the should we regulate artificial intelligence? This is a question about how and whether, or if yes, in which way we should regulate. Because Francisco mentioned that we have different approaches to artificial intelligence when we think about regulation. European, for example, American, yeah. I think that we can also indicate here the other approach. I mean about Chinese approach to artificial intelligence. They also have some regulations, but okay, always it's question, what is the main aim of such a regulation, yeah? Who will be in the center of protection, yeah? Yeah, of course, when we talk about European Union AI Act, this is, of course, obvious that, and this is idea of this 3 different, 3 or 4, we can say, as you can see here on the slide, yeah, levels of risk, yeah. Minimal risk, limited risk, high risk, and an acceptable risk, of course, yeah. So here we can see pyramid of risks and reaction from regulation, yeah. Okay, but so yeah. Please remember that we can find also some regulation in US, for example, but also in China, in Canada, Japan, and Singapore. But once again, we can say that generally we can find the 3 different approaches to these issues: American, European, and Chinese. So we can say that the two view on regulation of IE, I mean about American and US, is similar but not the same. Of course, in EU we have such regulation. As I know, on the federal level, they don't have. But so I can say that we can find completely okay, maybe not complete, a little bit different idea of this regulation. So I think that I'm sorry, but in US monetarization is always on the first place. In Europe, it seems that rather human being. Yeah, I don't know which approach is better, because some persons agree that we have here such a regulation like Europe could be obstacles in development of artificial intelligence, because they underscored that in fact the most important question is who win this race. Which artificial intelligence will be the best, and who lost this race, Europe or maybe this other approaches. Yeah. So I would like to present here the report of audiovisual European Audiovisual Observatory from this year, where they listed some challenges for audiovisual sector in Europe. And as you can see here, there is some important points. First, job disruption. Yeah? It could be a danger for many journalists. This is a paradox that generative artificial intelligence was created under the papers, articles prepared by journalists. And now they will be the victim of this race. Yeah? Because I don't know when, but it is possible that instead the people in newspaper or TV station, we will have artificial intelligence persons. Yeah. Next, this is preserving the human touch in creativity. While artificial intelligence can enhance efficiency in production and editing process, there is a need to preserve the human touch and creativity that are integral to artistic process. Questions arise about the balance between artificial intelligence assistance and human creativity, particularly in the context of funding and support from public institutions. Next important point, this is competition issues. Competition between US, Europe, and China. So I mean that because majority of the database comes from US, I think, but maybe we can also observe the same process in China. Next important point and threat for media sector and journalists. This is copyright, data input, and copyright. The use of copyrighted data to train, to feed artificial intelligence models without explicit consent from rights holders poses legal and ethical, especially legal, also ethical problems and challenges. Yeah. Next point is personality rights. The scrapping of data raises personality rights concerns as photo, voices, or videos could be used to create AI-generated content. Next point is next thread. This is the impact of newsrooms. Here is a problem that in the future, close future, we can observe not human-centered journalism. It will be AI-centered journalism. Yeah, of course, disinformation. This is obvious. Yeah, deepfake and others such solution. Environment cost. We must remember about this because so energy consumption to development artificial intelligence is significant. And last but not least, ethical dilemmas. We can say that in every this point we have ethical dilemmas, ethical challenges. Yeah. So what is the future? I can give you some cases from Europe and Poland when once again technology is neutral, but way of using of this technology could be different and could be not neutral. Disinformation, for example, you know what's happened in Romania during the last election. Similar cases, probably it was in Georgia. So this is obvious that, of course, based on social media, we can observe many such so bad impact on this space. Of course, this is also question. Should we regulate, for example, social media? We organized other conference about these problems. I remember the debate from US after the January 2021, what's happened in Washington. Yeah. So should we? So this is a public sphere. If yes, maybe we should regulate. Yeah. Next case from Poland. This is from Poland. This is a case of Radio Krakow. This is one of small public radio station in Krakow, the city on the south of Poland, and so this is not a main program, but second alternative program. Only in Krakow, and before 2024, so they had maybe, I don't know, 2,000 listeners. Yeah, what's happened? They fired the journalist from this station, and they asked the artificial intelligence. They created two lady and gentleman who was as speakers in this station. But in this year, it was I don't know, some weeks ago, they announced that there will be interview conducted by AI-generated presenters with Wisława Szymborska, Polish winner, Polish poet, and winner of the Nobel Prize in literature. But Wisława Szymborska died in 2012. And so they announced that there will be another interviews, for example, with Józef Piłsudski and others, big historical person from Polish history who died many years ago sometimes. Yeah. Okay. It was very controversial, but Michał Ruszynek, who is a president of Wisława Szymborska, professor of literature also, he is president of Szymborska's foundation, which oversees the poet's legacy. told to one of the Polish broadcasters, TVN, that he agreed to let the station use Szymborska name in the broadcast. He said the poets had a sense of humor and would have liked it, but thousands of people signed a protest against such action. You know, Wisława Szymborska, unfortunately, we don't have many Nobel Prize winner. So Wisława Szymborska is, you know, the big figure in our culture. So I and many people were against such action. And last but not least, this is a way how AI could be using in the, I think, in good way. This is this project called From Urban Legend to Fake News, a global detector of contemporary falsehood. And ladies and gentlemen, and it will be premiere. I'm sorry. This is maybe not very attractive from graphical artistic point of view, but this is the beginning of monetization of this project also. But I ask, this is a question today morning, I ask her, about the very fresh issue. Has Syrian President Bashar al-Assad defected to Russia in 2024? And is this true or false? Okay, and answer was true, 64%. Okay, maybe it's, we don't know exactly. I heard that he escaped from Syria to Russia, but I don't know. In Moscow, we don't know where is exactly former president, I guess, of Syria. And the second question, it's opposite. Has Syrian President Bashar al-Assad not defected to Russia? Okay, it's a false answer from the system. So I can say that it works. We can ask him because this is active now. We can ask other questions. Today I ask also. RC26 on human rights, International Political Science Association, focuses on human rights, and he answered, yes, it's true. Okay, great. Maybe this is simple questions, but we will think how it could be work. But I think that this is evidence that each technology could be used in the good way, on bad way. Everything depends, unfortunately, on us. Yeah, this is a problem of people. Yeah. So let's jump to the conclusions. Yeah. Technology can be helpful in many aspects, but just for who and for what purpose can be using, yeah? And of course, I don't know, this is a big dilemma or no, because we have AI Act in EU, but when we think, ask about regulation, AI regulation, so the question is, of course, in which way? We should use, for example, the hard law or maybe soft law, yeah, or maybe on international level, which body, United Nations or what, yeah, or okay, easier is in Europe because I mean about European EU countries, because we have Brussels, yeah, and yeah, we have such regulation, but please remember that session before I attended in discussion with people from IT department, and majority of them answer on such a question: should we regulate AI? Maybe yes, but we should understand. We should think about the development of this technology and who win this race. Race about for the new in discovering a new continent, because I can. This is we can say metaphorically that this is like opening or discovering the new continent. Yeah. All the completely new world. So thank you very much for your attention, and so I hope that maybe it will be especially of project and this application, it will be interesting for you. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, JJ. It's very important, all the issues that you bring on the table for our common concerns and reflection, balance innovation and regulation, define artificial intelligence risk levels and compliance costs. And all, of course, the ethical considerations that you just shared with us at the very end of your presentation: enforcement, accountability, public trust, adaptability, and this technological complexity. Now, without further delay, it's our great pleasure to run the floor to Sharmila Devi, PhD, Jedrzej, PhD, Cameron, PhD. This is a paper presented by 3 authors: artificial intelligence and international relations.
I'm sorry, but I can't see this persons.
Okay.
I don't know what's happened. Maybe they have technical problems with connection.
Okay. Perfect. So
we have Professor Ravi Sankar.
Perfect. Yeah? Yes. So without further delay, Professor Ravi Sankar, University of Kerala, Artificial Intelligence, Surveillance State, and the Human Rights Jeopardy. So Professor Ravi Sankar, the floor is yours. Be most welcome.
Good evening, sir. Am I audible?
You are audible, and we can see you. Yes. If you have PowerPoint presentation to share with us, make yourself comfortable.
No, sir. I will share my points with respect to my given topic. So, hi, good evening. Namaste. Respected luminaries of Mickiewicz University, organizers of this conference, and all dignitaries. At the outset, I would like to thank the organizers of this conference, especially to Professor Skrzypczak, Abhimo Pectori, for giving me an opportunity to share my thoughts with respect to artificial intelligence and human rights. May I humbly illustrate my views in few points, as I am aware of the limitations of time. Okay, the intersection of artificial intelligence, surveillance states, and human rights raises a significant ethical, legal, and social concerns nowadays. AI technologies are increasingly integrated into surveillance systems, enhancing their capacity to monitor, analyze, and predict human behavior. While these advancements promise benefits such as improved public safety and efficient resource management, they simultaneously risk undermining fundamental human rights such as privacy, freedom of expression, and equality. I would like to present my topic precisely based on 5 notable points. So the first one is that artificial intelligence and the expansion of surveillance capabilities, particularly the governance systems, especially in third world countries, they may jeopardize the human rights available to the citizens of these nations. As you are aware, AI has greatly enhanced the capabilities of surveillance systems through technologies such as facial recognition, predictive analytics, and real-time monitoring. Governments and private entities can now process vast amounts of data. As of now, we are living in a world of big data. They can track individuals and predict behavior with unprecedented precision. While these advancements can be useful for security and public safety, they also pose serious risks to individual freedoms and privacy. So key technologies are, as we stated here, facial recognition. It is used for identifying and tracking individuals in public spaces, often without their consent. That is a great danger with these facial recognition systems. Then second one is predictive policing. Algorithms are used or designed to forecast criminal activity, which may reinforce existing biases. Then another technological significance with respect to data mining and profiling. So gathering and analyzing personal data to create detailed profiles of individuals or groups. And as of now, we are aware that data means money. So social media monitoring is yet another challenge. That means AI tools mine social platforms to detect dissent, influencing freedom of expression and assembly. Then nowadays we can see that in third world countries, there are a growth of smart cities. So smart cities are always coming with surveillance regimes. Surveillance networks in urban environments. They collect and analyze data from citizens' activities, raising concerns about consent and data security. And my second point is that it has already posed a threat to human rights, particularly the AI surveillance systems often conflicts with fundamental human rights, especially the right to privacy is jeopardized. So excessive surveillance erodes individuals' ability to control their personal information. And recently, ironically, a thing happened in Kerala, in my state. It is down south in India. A bill has been generated for violating these traffic rules. And a two-wheeler, a motorcycle, has been captured. And the photograph has been sent to his residence with the bill. Two riders were there. The pillion rider didn't wear a helmet. And unfortunately, this photograph has been noticed by the person's wife. But the photograph indicated that the pillion rider was not his wife. So it creates a lot of confusion in his life, because there are these kind of cases of violation of privacies. So personal information is being shared in unwanted platforms. Yet another case is freedom of expression. A famous dictum, as we are aware, that vox populi, vox dei, has been significantly jeopardized. Awareness of constant monitoring can lead to self-censorship and suppression of dissent. We may not be able to raise our voice of dissent in a public platform because we are under the surveillance regime. So another thing is that equality and non-discrimination, all these artificial intelligence systems may perpetuate or exacerbate biases, disproportionately targeting the marginalized and sidelined communities. My third point is that the surveillance states, the global trends are there. So many nations are adopting AI-driven surveillance practices, but the scope and intensity may vary. In authoritarian states, we can see that some regimes use artificial intelligence to suppress dissent and monitor political opponents and enforce a social control, raising alarms about digital authoritarianism. In India also, we have a history of certain websites have been tracked, or the phones, telephones have been censored. Even the opposition leaders are under surveillance regime. So in China also, there is a social credit system which uses.
I think he was disconnected.
Sorry, sir. Sorry.
Okay. All right. You came back. Yeah.
Can I continue?
Yeah. Keep going on.
Okay, sir. Okay. China's social credit system is a system that uses a variety of data points to measure the trustworthiness of individuals, businesses, and government entities also. So the goal of the system is to regulate social behavior and ensure compliance with the laws and regulations. So in democracies also, there are certain dilemmas. Even in democracies, the balance between security and civil liberties is increasingly tenuous as governments adopt these intrusive surveillance measures. And another point is that corporate responsibility, even this, we know these technological companies, they play a pivotal role, and they are marketing, they are developing and selling AI surveillance tools, often prioritizing profit rather than ethics. So this is a great point. They are making profit out of sacrificing the privacy of the individuals and their basic human rights. So there are a lot of examples in China. We can see that advanced AI-driven surveillance networks for social control and citizen scoring. And in the United States also, we can see that controversies are around the Patriot Act and NSA surveillance programs and private sector collaboration. In European Union, we are familiar with stricter regulations under GDPR, but the challenges remain in balancing innovation and privacy. So my fourth point is that legal and ethical challenges. So this rapid deployment of AI in surveillance raises critical questions regarding lack of transparency. So many artificial intelligence systems operates as black boxes, making it difficult to hold them accountable. So we may not be able to guess, or we may not be able to see who is governing all these things, whether it is government or private parties are controlling these artificial intelligence systems. It is a very crucial question. Then next one is absence of oversight. Inadequate legal frameworks allow unchecked surveillance and misuse of data. Even in India, we can see that the courts, the judicial bodies are increasingly using these technologies, or with the help of these technologies, they are arriving at certain conclusions and make their judgments. Then global standards, as far as global standards is concerned, disparities in regulations across nations make it challenging to address abuses comprehensively. And my last point is that safeguarding human rights is the need of the hour. To address these challenges, several measures are essential. The first point is that a robust legal framework should be arranged or enunciated to enact laws to regulate AI surveillance, ensuring accountability, transparency, and human rights protection. And a code of conduct or ethical standards should be evolved, or ethical AI development should be brought to the fore to encourage the creation of technologies aligned with human rights principles. They should go hand in hand. Independent oversight is another point, establishing a watchdog organization to monitor the use of AI in surveillance. And international cooperation is yet another point. Global frameworks are needed and treaties are necessary to regulate the artificial intelligence role in surveillance and upholding human rights. And last but not the least, public awareness is a crucial point, educating the citizens about their rights and the implications of artificial intelligence surveillance. It fosters informed resistance to overreaching technological impacts. To conclude, the interplay of artificial intelligence, surveillance states, and human rights is a high-stakes arena where technological progress must be carefully balanced with ethical imperatives. Without robust safeguards, there is a risk of creating a dystopian future where human freedoms are jeopardized. However, with deliberate actions and global cooperation, it is possible to harness the AI technologies for the common good while protecting individual rights. This is my points. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to present and share my thoughts with this august body of eminent professors from different universities of the world. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Professor Hafiz Sankar. It's very important how you just short your presentation and cut the most of main concerns, topics, and issues such as invasion of privacy, data misuse and abuse, algorithmic biases and discrimination, chilling effect on free expression, and of course, erosion of civil liberties. Underneath of all of these abridged topics, the lack of transparency, the risk of authoritarianism. So, JJ, I think that also the presenter.
Cassius, I'm unfortunately these persons from India they are absent, and also I don't have any answer today from Kinga Hochstock.
Okay, no worries.
So it seems that this is time for discussion, yeah?
Okay, perfect. So without further delay, I will run the floor to Professor Oscar. And then Professor Oscar, we have the floor, and then we do maybe 2 rounds of discussion to allow Marcos and Furchan and I, and maybe you and Revizika to come again to the floor to share your comments. Is that right? Does that work?
Yes, and I think that because last session we finished suddenly because we consumed all time. Yeah, I think that maybe this is a good time to continue our discussion from the previous session. Yeah. Because we have speakers, almost all speakers from first session, so it is time for discussion. Okay.
Okay, so if you allow me, can we run the floor to Oscar? He's the discussant for the session.
Yes.
Okay, and then for maybe 12 minutes, Oscar, and then we run back the floor to the presenters, and we share some more time among us because we have 43 minutes left. Oscar, bienvenido. The floor is yours.
Okay. Well, I am delighted to be here. I am delighted to be once again a discussant for Jedrzej, that it's our chair of RC26, and in these several days I have been the discussant in several in some papers. Okay, very interesting topic. I would like to make some comments. One thing is that artificial intelligence seems to be one thing, but actually it is another thing. And this is, I think this is something important for concept. I like very much what you say about the race between Europe, United States, and China, and connecting different webinars. The reglobalization paradigm have to talk about the China as a global actor, the China as global actor. My first question will be, do you think this reglobalization paradigm could explain something about artificial intelligence and China new role as competence for Europe and competence for United States? This is one question. The other question is, it's very interesting. Artificial intelligence as a question, the truth and lies. Artificial intelligence as a source of credibility. Well, nowadays, even in the essays that our students send to us, we have a problem of the sources of credibility, because now they can ask to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT can make text, and they can use this text in the different assignments, even in papers, in academic papers. Okay, what is true, what is false nowadays with artificial intelligence? This requires a new answer, a new answer. And finally, in the definition of disinformation, in the European definition of disinformation, there is a European definition of disinformation in a code of practice. It is interesting because usually disinformation, it means false information and also an intention of mislead. This is interesting because maybe artificial intelligence produce false information. My question is a very difficult question, is artificial intelligence has the intention to mislead? This means it's a type of disinformation. And these are all my questions for Jedrzej.
Okay. Thank you very much for your comments and for your opinion. So when you ask about China and artificial intelligence, as I mentioned, so it seems that there is a completely different approach to artificial intelligence, to of course to freedom of expression, etc. It's obvious, but so we must remember that yesterday I checked because my student presented me such data that now China is on the first place of registering of patents in the world, 10 times more than, for example, in US. Europe is on the fourth place. On the third place is Japan. Yeah. So we can say that China now is a superpower if we think about technology. Yeah. And they have okay, this question, how it was possible. Okay. They have their own patents on this field. Yeah. So I think that okay, we can observe also discussion, for example, in US about TikTok. Yeah. So we know that TikTok is a Chinese platform, but official they are registered in US. Yeah. As I know. So, you know, it is a big race on this field. And now, in my opinion, the race, who will be the first, who will have the best solution, for example, artificial intelligence, this is a question about the new world order, in fact. Yeah, because I think that maybe it will be the main point or main feature when we will think about the position in the global rank. Yeah, So this is, of course, we can say very pessimistic, yeah, because we know, of course, what is the Chinese approach, for example, to freedom of expression, to liberty, and so yeah, this is a problem, and this is a big challenge. Yeah. You ask, of course, this is a philosophical question. What is the true, or what is a false? So maybe I can explain you how we were working with this equipment. My role and my team, my aim, it was feeding this artificial intelligence data. Yeah. If was and we was learning this machine, what is a true and what is a false. Of course, at the beginning, we okay, I created some methodology of fact checking. So step by step, to algorithm, yeah. How this algorithm should work, yeah. But of course, this is quality of question about the quality of the data. Yeah, this is a big question. Yeah, but so I received this tools yesterday. And so now I'm very happy, but I will check it in the next days. Yeah, and yeah, you're right that artificial intelligence has been sometimes create disinformation. Of course, yeah, it's true. But once again, who is responsible for it? Yeah? So artificial intelligence or people? Once again, my main thesis is that technology is always neutral. Yeah, people are not neutral. Yeah, and this is a problem because, of course, this is international action. Because someone gave some order to this artificial intelligence, prepare some fake news, yeah, and it is the answer. But we have such okay, I can say weapon like I hope this fake news, global fake news detector. It's I even discovered that it works not only in Polish. It is possible to check some sentence also in English. I'm not sure in Spanish, maybe also, but I'm not sure yet. But this is yeah. I think that yeah, because a question about regulation, it is also the same question like, for example, in the battle for copyright. Should we regulate more and more, or maybe we should think some technical, technical equipment which help us to protect our copyright, or maybe, like for example, we can see it on such streaming services like Netflix, of Tidal, or Spotify, because in here we have some interesting economic model of selling this values, yeah, and it seems that everything's are happy. I don't know everything, everyone, but I think that fortunately this is legally. But yes, I think that this is a big challenge for our humanity. because the development of this technology is so rapid that this is not my opinion. This is opinion other experts. For example, during even this session, we hosted professors, keynote speaker from US, and he is a IT technology professor, and so we don't know because, of course, this is a threat that the artificial intelligence will be independent in the future. I don't believe, because this is not idea of artificial this one, because we don't know in fact what is it artificial intelligence, how it works, yeah, in this sense, because this is only some of algorithm, yeah, this is not but who knows what's happening in the future. Maybe once again, maybe in the very close future, the artificial intelligence will have the feelings, and maybe we will protect artificial intelligence when we think about, for example, protection of animals and pets, and yeah. So why not? Yeah, in the future. But this is we have big tradition in science fiction literature about this. So I think that we have some constitution of robots, etc. Yeah. So yeah, but I think that this is like nuclear weapon. And I think you remember, of course, this movie Oppenheimer, and lately we this year or last year we saw in movies. So I think that people who are responsible for artificial intelligence should be the same doubts like Oppenheimer had.
Perfect. Okay. Oscar, you're going to address a question to Ravi Shankar as well?
Yes.
Okay. The floor is yours. And then we take the floor to a round table among us.
Okay. It has been very interesting, the paper presented by Ravi Shankar, Professor Ravi Shankar, from India, University of Kerala. It was for me a bit surprising what you explained it about artificial intelligence and his application to facial recognition, predictive policing, profiling, and other issues. And I have two questions more broad about the theory of rights. There are three different questions, but they are connected. The first one is, okay, privacy, we have a new right in these cases, or we have a new interpretation of the current right. This is important because sometimes we say, well, in online or with artificial intelligence, we need to no regulation, or we need to change everything, and we need all completely new rights. Well, this is one question. The second is the dichotomy between freedom and security. You mentioned several aspects that are related with freedom, and sometimes each society should take some decisions between freedom and security, and sometimes freedom prevail and security prevail. But in certain cases, and you, in your paper, you are in favor always of freedom. Don't you think that in some cases security should prevail using artificial intelligence in this, or you are completely against of any use of artificial intelligence in these cases that you have studied? And finally, the global issue, the global approach. As we mentioned with artificial intelligence, the race of different countries. Do you think that in the future we will have different regulations in different countries about liberty and security in these applications of artificial intelligence concerning security? Don't you think this could have some global consequences? What is your approach in a global dimension of these freedom and security issues? I think I'm explaining. No, it's clear the question. Okay, thank you very much.
Prof. Isdenkamp?
Yes, sir. Am I audible? Sir, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Everything is
Go
okay.
ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So regarding the question raised by the respected professor, I would like to point out something related to this regime of surveillance by governments all the world over. They are focusing on to security aspects, but in disguise, in a way, they are posing a threat to privacy also. So it is a high time for us to differentiate between which aspects of these concerns of security are posing a threat to the privacy. And even these social media platforms are being under surveillance and in a regime of constant monitoring in these platforms may result in suppressing the voice of dissent. This is a key feature, particularly in third world countries. The people are easily vulnerable to these high pressure threats from the surveillance regimes or governments, and they fear that they may be put behind the bars if they air something against the wrongdoings of the government. And of course, at the international level, global efforts are needed to regulate such systems, and we have to intelligently identify which aspects of the individual privacy should be protected, and what differentiates private and public. And these questions should be discussed thoroughly, and it is possible for arriving at a good conclusion with respect to which aspects are to be governed by the state. Even giving some types of freedom may not be hampering our rights. So it is not always not necessarily to control or regulate the behavior of the individuals, particularly in a social context, because we are now living in an open society. Putting people under constant surveillance will destroy the spirit of enthusiasm and humanism. This is my point. Am I cleared the doubts, sir?
Okay. Are you okay, Oscar, or you have?
Yeah. It's okay. It's a good answer. I am. It's a good answer. Thank you very much.
Okay. Now, does anyone would like to get the floor to make comments or questions, address questions?
Can we?
I'd like to.
Can we back to last session because we have speakers here also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. And maybe my question I would like to ask all speakers about your opinion about what. So an answer on this question: should we regulate artificial intelligence? If yes, so which way? Hard law, soft law, on which level, international, European or regional, domestic, or could you answer on such problem, such question? Sorry. Yeah, Francesco.
So, Professor Skrzypczak, is it correct?
Excellent.
Okay, perfect. I was afraid. So, I think you had some remarks about China in the first session, and this is probably also a question that I ask. So you have an idea of what is my answer. So we shouldn't regulate. Well, we did it at the end, so too late to say, no?
Too late.
The response to does China regulate AI better or worse? No, probably this was the remarks in the first panel. In any case, China operates as a different state or different institutions, different from European Union, where fundamental principles like rule of law apply, no? And the government has the discretionary power to shut down individual platforms. It happened several times, no, with Alibaba or so on, or restrict technologies without the checks and balances typical of a democratic system. And European Union competences, on the other hand, are focused on fostering the internal market. It's not a national state in the old sense of a national state, no? With a secondary emphasis also on protecting fundamental rights. However, it's important to note that the EU does not have a pure competence over rights. For example, in Poland, I guess, rights are governed mostly by the Polish constitution, national laws. There is no general directive on freedom of expression or regulation governing private life in its entirety. Well, one could say there is the regulation like the General Data Protection Regulation. Indeed, the GDPR stems from a specific competence in the treatise. Article 16, I guess, the one that speaks about the fundamental right to data protection and create the competence. And so in conclusion, the European Union, fortunately, does not possess the sweeping powers of the Chinese government. But the question I would like to ask, maybe to all of you, but is, if I understand correctly, Professor, if you are linking the development of the innovation to the regulatory approach, almost as if the rules themselves can produce innovation, no? And however, I believe that Europe, so we face various limitations that are not solely only regulatory. We have many languages and the lack of common language, meaning that in each country, AI would need to be trained with a very relatively small data set, no? In Italy, in your country, and so on. And we face an high energy costs, not in all Europe, not in France maybe, but in Europe generally, yes. We have limited venture capital investment. And as a result, we have few startups. And of course, we now also have a great many rules, which in my view are not very clear. The rules are often directed at the developer, but let's say understanding GDPR, AI Act, DMA, and DSA is already a challenge for a legal expert. For a computer engineer, it becomes nearly impossible to understand what it's written inside this framework. And here is the question. Rules can act as brakes and barriers and perhaps even as a stimulus sometimes, okay? But it is other rules that need to change, those capable of creating an environment good to companies wishing to develop AI. Otherwise, the game is already lost, in my opinion. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Who else? Francisco?
Yeah,
Would you
yeah.
like? Okay, yeah.
I have another a question, perhaps Francisco or our keynote speaker would respond to that. How about initiating, let's say, the international moderators to monitor the content that has been generated against, let's say, vulnerable communities, or perhaps to mitigate the ethical barriers in terms of how it's being trafficked? Can we see the possibility of having international moderators like that?
Sorry, can you reframe? I'm not sure if I understand the question.
Yeah, what let me rephrase that for you. So do you see the possibility of having international content moderators in terms of protecting the rights of basic human rights in terms of
Okay.
regulation? Yeah.
Okay. Content moderators. Are you talking about human content moderator? Well, I'm asking this because I recently watched a documentary couple of weeks ago about the life of three content moderators working for Meta, and basically the documentary was on the impacts of this job on their mental health. You know, I don't know if you're aware on how does this job is being done. It's basically about forcing individuals to face a screen and watch horrible things, horrible human things. So I'm hesitating whether this job is an inhuman or degrading job. I wonder if well, I'm not evading your question. I'm just trying to make sense on whether human content moderation is actually a solution or is a viable solution for controlling the content online. So maybe if you asked me this 1 month ago, I would have argued that yes, there has to be some content moderation focusing on vulnerable groups. But now I am hesitating. I'm really doubting that that we should find another way, maybe another technological way for content moderation, or at least that content moderation should be regulated not by private companies' objectives, but rather by more socially agreed guidelines. I don't know. I'm really having trouble to support any measure which includes the content moderation as we are doing it right now. I don't know if
Thank you so
that's
much. Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much, and I really understand the dearth of the policies and issues that you've just raised. So, if anyone who wants to take this question, respond to this question, perhaps Francisco, who is more critical about human rights and AI and its usage. If yes, please go ahead. If not, I have another open question to the floor. JJ, if you allow me to ask the question.
Yes, okay.
Okay, so everybody talked about the ethical implications of AI. So, right, particularly in the areas like cognitive manipulation and mass surveillance, right? As we are like
so trying to build some, let's say, nuanced approach in terms of how we can deal this. With AI system becoming more ingrained in societal structures, what do you think are the most effective ways to ensure that these systems remain accountable, transparent, and aligned with human rights? So I guess perhaps Ravi Shankar ji or Professor Marsili, or
Okay,
who?
well, sir, I think I can answer your question. Am I audible, sir? Okay, I think the situation in third world countries like India is somewhat posing a serious challenge to this surveillance systems posing threat to human rights. So the point is that if we want to use these systems judiciously, the government may always try to put their people under surveillance, constant surveillance. But an effective opposition, I think, as of now in India, we can see an effective opposition with a strong member of parliament and other these social movements or NGOs. They can play an effective role in churning out what are the mechanisms or what clearly determines the elements of privacy and freedom. So, actually, the role of the media cannot be undermined. The media can always, they can play a positive role in opening up the gaps where there are, the government is trying to putting people under surveillance, and the opposition can indicate the areas where they are encroaching the limits, and even the judiciary can also play a vital role. I think the answer is satisfactory for you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Ravi Shankar ji, for your response. So Jedrzej or Professor Cassius or Professor Oscar can take this up, or
no, because
shall I
you
throw
asked
another question?
something about you ask Professor Marco Marsili, yeah?
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Marco?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, as we've already discussed before, I think that we all agree that it's necessary, I mean, to foster the resilience of the society, awareness within the society. And I think that, you know, ethical issues are challenging because, I mean, we are used, I mean, if you go to a European school, you know, the world is a sphere. It's not planned. But if you enter into a European school, you find a map that is planned, where Europe is at the center. So we still have a Eurocentric vision. But if you go to the United States or to Canada, that is at the center of the map, the American continent. So if you go to Asia, it's the same. Okay. So we have our values, but that's the challenging point. Even within the European Union countries, we do not share the same values. And you have to figure out that when we come to, when we talk about regulating something that should be regulated globally, that is artificial intelligence, all the governments, all the states must agree on this regulation. But regulations, positive law, lies on ethics, moral values, and so on. These backgrounds are different. So 300 million people in the United States is nothing. I'm not talking about the technological power of the United States and talking in numbers of inhabitants. And about 750 millions in Europe. So if you put together also South America, Canada, whatever you want, it's about 1.5 billion inhabitants. But we are 9 billions in the world, 2 in China, 1.5 in India, and so on. I can keep on. Just to say that, what do we want to regulate? So this regulation will have a very limited impact on artificial intelligence misuse if you do not involve these other countries. The problem with China is that during the Cold War, there were only two superpowers, the USSR and the Western Bloc led by the United States. So unfortunately, the United States, after the collapse of the Soviet Union and the Berlin Wall, kept on with this bilateral negotiation and treaties, excluding China. Now, China rose up so much, as you remember before, they own so many patents, and also they have a pivotal role within the telecommunications organization, the ETU, which is discussing the future standards for connectivity, mobile connectivity, that is the 6G. So now we are implementing in Europe with a broad investment 5G networks, but China has already developed and registered patents for 6G networks. So just to say that we have to, I mean, it's not possible to keep on this way, thinking only in a bilateral way, United States and Russia and so on, in the old way. We should open to China, but China is not interested because Western powers have left. I can quote, just to close, Barack Obama, former US president, at the end of his second term said, China is only a regional power. So now this is China, and the following administration, Trump, at the end of the first Trump administration, he said, okay, China is the major global threat. So how did it happen? How did he wake up from one day to another one, saying, okay, the weak power, the regional one, afterwards the biggest security challenge in the world. So there will not be regulation without multilateralization. I mean, without an international treaty, a convention. Hopefully supported by the United Nations, but I'm not confident because you know, after more than 1 century of attempts for drafting and having a convention about terrorism, we still do not have any convention about terrorism. So still now, the terms terrorism and terrorist, they lie on national interest, on geopolitical interests, and so on. So I'm not confident about artificial intelligence, just to close up, because the United States are not interested, because all these companies are based in the United States and they are only interested in the economy. So internet is United States ownership, social media also, and Google Maps. So you know that we have some kind of like Galileo in Europe, but all the globe relies on Google Maps. So just to say that when we come to talk about these technologies, there's no competition between the European Union and the United States. But just to close up, because I think that Jedrzej talked about Russia and so on. Russia is investing much for developing. This is an outcome, maybe an unexpected outcome of the sanction. So was excluded by accessing to cutting-edge technology like artificial intelligence, and now they are investing a lot of money to recuperate the gap that they on artificial intelligence that they estimated to be between 6 and 9 months. So I mean, China is much more far away, of course, because they started before with TikTok, as you remember before, and so on. So also one of the unexpected outcome of the sanctions will be to give Russia the ownership on artificial intelligence. So good job, congratulations to our policymakers.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much for your opinions, for your speeches. Thank you, Cassius, for chairing this session. Thank you, Oscar and Furkan, for your comments. And so today it was the last meeting, RC26 in this year. I think we had a very interesting time last 3 months. First time we met in Lisbon, Portugal, then in Brazil on the conference which Cassius organized. Thank you very much. Then we had conference in Subice, Poland. In Lisbon again, it was Human Rights Day and Alexander Pérez. And today, this is a final event in this year. I hope that next year we will meet in Seoul on World Congress. And I hope that we have idea that maybe basing on this few conferences, we can preparing some books after the World Congress. If you would like to participate in this projects, because I hope that will be not only one. It will be great. I think that as usually it will be in prestigious publishing house, I hope that it will be possible. Once again, thank you very much for your support and for your help, and thank you very much. In Poznań, now we have time for dinner, unfortunately. So I don't know what do you have? What is your plans for today's evening? I hope that maybe in the future we will meet somewhere. Maybe in Poland. Please remember that Mickiewicz University is good place for such conferences, or our campus in Subice, near the German border, or maybe in Seoul. I hope that we will also meet on the biggest events of IPSA. Yeah. So once again, thank you very much. Thank you very much people who are here in this room. Thank you very much for your attention, and I hope that. So finally, we had maybe first time. So times for discussion. It's great. Maybe we should.
Let's take a picture. Can you prepare yourself for the picture? Okay, smile.
Jedrzej, can I
Great.
stop the recording as well?
Happy holidays for each one, every one of you. It was a pleasure. Thank you very much, JJ.